Hey, what's going on, everybody? With the new sports year kind of like as a whole about to start up, because we've been in the dog days of sports where the only thing going on really is baseball. NBA is about to start back up. NFL is about to start back up. NHL, college football, college basketball eventually, and then we'll roll right into the World Series. And then we'll do it all over again the next year. I thought it would be fun just to look back on some of the droughts that might potentially end. So there are 4 teams that have never actually been to the Super Bowl: Jaguars, Texans, Lions, Browns. And out of these 4 teams that have never actually been able to go to the Super Bowl, the one I'm leaning on right now, I'd have to say, is the Jaguars. I remember when I looked at this list back in 2020, I was leaning towards the Texans because, they just came off of losing the divisional to the Chiefs after being up 21, and so I thought they'd be really promising. Plus, Trevor Lawrence was still in college, and the Lions, well, were the Lions. I trust that the first team who has never been to the Super Bowl will probably be Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, and that young Jaguars team. Maybe Doug Peterson can get it done, or it has to be the next coach after him, but the future looks really bright in Jacksonville. They can get to an AFC championship game where they eventually lose to Tom Brady with Blake Bortles as your quarterback. Let's just think about how far they could get with Trevor Lawrence. Never had the glory. These are the teams that have actually been to the Super Bowl, but they've never actually been able to win it. But we also got the Chargers, the Bills, the Bengals, Titans, Vikings, Panthers, Falcons, and the Cardinals. There were a few handful of teams that I think could actually win, so I chose to do one from the NFC side and one from the AFC side. And who knows, maybe by the time one of these teams win it, they will have switched, conferences. But I don't think that would happen. For the NFC side, I picked the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not sold on the Cardinals giving up on Kyler Murray just yet to go tank and go get Caleb Williams. But I think, if they get the right, offensive line around Kyler that can actually protect him, he can have that privilege of going to the GMs like Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. I need some guys on my offense to help me get there. I think that can push him over to potentially having the Cardinals have a historic playoff run like how they did back before it was ended sadly by the Steelers in Super Bowl 43. For the AFC team, no shocker here. I think they are in the prime peak of getting this done in the next 2-3 years. The Bengals. You got Joe Burrow, who's changed the organization from the inside. That defense is humming right now. They fixed problems with the offensive line. You can't deny the chemistry that Burrow has with Chase already. There is issues of, who are we going to pay? I'm going to guarantee one thing. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are not going to separate. And these are the teams who have won it, but it's been forever. They've won it either before the NFL officially rebranded into calling it the Super Bowl. I decided the cutoff should be about 20 years. I mean, there was a jump, I believe, from it was either the Steelers or Saints where it was 16 years and then it jumped to 21 years. And the reason why I put this is even though, the Saints hadn't gone back to the Super Bowl and won it since they did against the Colts, there was still that window towards the end of Drew Brees' career, especially in 2016 through 2020, where it's like, hey, they could go get this one more time, even though they hadn't been for a decade plus. Same with the Packers, towards Aaron Rodgers' last few seasons. But we have the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Bears, Jets, Washington, 49ers, Cardinals, and Cowboys. So the NFC, and again, same thing where we got 2 teams, one on the NFC, one on the AFC. The team that I think is poised right now in the NFC side that, hey, we can go get a Super Bowl and win one is the 49ers. Their defense is stacked. Now, looking at it, they had a really good defense going into Super Bowl 54. They had a really good offense going into Super Bowl 47. They've lost both of the last times they went dancing. I remember there was that stat, if I'm not mistaken, they were 5-0 in Super Bowls all time before they went and they lost to the Ravens. And ever since, they haven't been able to recapture that glory of, Joe Montana, Steve Young. Future looks bright for them if they can keep their core guys together, like Bosa, Warner, Purdy, Kittle, Debo. If these guys can all stay healthy, under the coach they got right now, Shanahan, definitely they can win a Super Bowl. AFC, they're bringing in that missing key piece. Got to go with the Jets. If it wasn't the Jets, it would have definitely been the Bengals, because I think right now what we're watching is, it showed a graphic of all the accomplishments that Jets have had in their quarterback since the Super Bowl and what Aaron Rodgers has done in his career. And like out of all the first team all MVP winners, Aaron Rodgers is double, triple what the Jets' greatest quarterback of all time, Joe Namath, has ever been in his career. And so to me, it would seem easy to say, you know what, if there was going to be a team from the AFC that's had a long 20, 30, 40 plus year drought, it's going to be the Jets. Now, does this mean this season that I think Aaron Rodgers is going to absolutely show up, rip the NFL apart, and win Super Bowl 58? No. But in the era that we are in with this small window, got a lot of faith in the Jets. So that's my NFL edition of Drought Enders, where those are the few handful of teams in the certain circumstances that I have of them winning their next championship. Catch you in the next video. Peace.